In this unit of the course, we continue with syntax. In the last unit, we showed that syntactic rules constrain linear order and hierarchical structure. It turns out, though, that other aspects of sentence structure are constrained as well. To give you a sense of that, we can consider some examples. The phenomena that these examples illustrate cannot be explained by phrase structure rules. In the last unit, we only looked at a subset of English phrase structure rules. But even if you looked at more phrase structure rules of English, you would see that what's going on here cannot be explained by referring to the phrase structure rules and showing how those are violated. Something else is going on here, something other than phrase structure rules and hierarchical structure. Consider the first one. We have, what did Ellie drop the book and? And that just doesn't sound right. It's ungrammatical. But, it's very similar to a sentence like, what did Ellie eat the cake with? And it has a perfectly reasonable meaning. I would ask, what did Ellie drop the book and? Meaning that I know that Ellie dropped the book and also something else, but I don't know what that something is. So I asked, what did Ellie drop the book and? You might answer, Ellie dropped the book and the pencil. The second example we have here is another ungrammatical sentence. That's the boy who I was wondering where bought the coat. And again, there's a completely reasonable interpretation for this sentence, which is, I was wondering about some boy, where did that boy buy the coat? And later on I see the same boy and I say to you, that's the boy who I was wondering where bought the coat. This next example is a little different because these actually are two grammatical sentences. They sound fine. But here the interesting thing is the interpretation of the pronoun he. So in the first sentence, when he was in college, John wrote a book. He could be, somebody other than John. It could be when Fred was in college. But he could also refer to John. So it could mean when John was in college. When he was in college, John wrote a book. But that's not true of the second sentence, which is almost the same as the first one. He was in college when John wrote a book. In that sentence, he has to be someone other than John. And the last example we have here is another ungrammatical sentence. The picture of the girl amazed herself. And here, this again has a perfectly reasonable interpretation. So there's a picture of a girl, and that picture amazed that same girl, the one who's in the picture. But again, it just doesn't sound right. So what's going on with these? We're going to focus in this unit on the phenomenon that's illustrated by the last of these examples. So the picture of the girl amazed herself. Now, the reason we're including this topic in the course, one reason is that we're going to use this to give you a taste of how the scientific method works in linguistics. So we're going to show how syntacticians formulate a hypothesis, then test that hypothesis, and then formulate a new hypothesis and test that one, etc. The other reason we're including this topic is that we're going to, later in this course, we're going to be considering broad issues like how people learn language, how language evolved in the species, whether one language can be better than another. And in discussing those issues, it's crucial really to have a sense of the nature of language. And and we want you to have a sense in particular of the kind of complexity that you see in the linguistic system. So that's what we're showing you in this unit, the kind of complexity that you see. And in particular, the principle we're going to be talking about is not only, I mean, it's highly complex, that's one thing, but also it is complex in a very particular way. And that is that it's a syntactic principle that refers only to syntax. It doesn't refer to anything outside of the syntactic system itself.